Oh yeah, one of my most favorite things, checking out new tech. Got a brand new mini drone on deck. Let's take it out for a fly, see how it goes. Let's go. All right, we're in the field. We're going to test this little baby out. It is a new Holy Stone HS175D. We are going to test this out, see how it flies. It's GPS, all the good things we like. First things first, let's take this baby up in the air, see what it does. Now one thing, it is a little bit windy today, so I'm going to have to be careful. The flag is blowing a little bit, so I'm going to take it up, maybe not go too high. Because it's so small, I have a feeling it's going to fight the wind a little bit. As always, any of these smaller models, that's what they do. So we're going to take it low a little bit first, and then we're going to take it out a little bit deeper just to see what we can do, push it a little bit, but we don't want to get and take it away with the wind and get lost on us. That would be bad. Don't want to do that. So let's just take it out, be a little careful, see how this baby flies right out of the box. Just going to run in the app here. We're going to do our calibration and all that kind of stuff first. Get the gyro set up. Okay, vertical. Calibration completed. One more time, let's try this. I head to the window a little bit, see what it does, see if it's a little bit better this time. Not bad, not bad. Okay. All right, so let's just take this around here low, see what happens. It's a little more squirrely than I like, honestly. I am able to control it, but I've got to be watching quite a bit here because it is pretty squirrely. Again, I'm trying to hold it in position here manually, but let's take it around here a little bit more and see if it flies. Well, I gotta say, it's pretty darn spunky. You gotta give it that for sure. Pretty darn spunky. It's a little loose, a little more loose than I'd like, but it's pretty spunky, I gotta say. Okay, let's do a little video, see what it looks like. We're going to raise this up. Now the coast is a little bit long for me. It does kind of really take a long time, so if you're getting close to things, and you take some risks like I do and get close to other things, you're going to run into something. But let's try the return home and just see what happens here. Alrighty, so one thing to note is that it came down way over here compared to over there. That's got to be a good 6-7 feet off, which isn't great with GPS. You notice it came down, it was a pretty hard landing. I expected, there's a sensor on the bottom here, I expected it to be a little more cushioned and controlled landing. Wasn't to be. So bottom line, did it fly? Yes, it flew. Did it control? That's always a big one. It seemed to control. I was able to control it, bring it home when I needed to. Is it right for you? For the price, I'll let you decide if the functions and the features that this has is good for you. All right, so just an addendum. I'm going to try this amongst the trees a little bit. There's no wind in here. I just want to make sure that some of the squirrely issues that I've had, how this flew, was not related to being a little bit too windy for it. If that's the case, we'll find out and let's see. So I'm going to just do a quick little flight around here. See what happens we're completely surrounded by trees. The wind has died down to about 4 miles an hour or so, but even in these trees there's like nothing. So I'm going to try it here and see how that goes. You can actually see the camera going through. Everything views good on here, but it just says optical mode, no GPS signal. I will try again and see if I can get this connect. I was able to get it into GPS mode, so I'm going to take this for a quick fly and see how this does. But as far as the flights, I'm going to do this while I have the chance here quick. So I'm going to take off, just see if the responsiveness is a little better. So here we go. So it is flying here, and it is pretty stable with no wind at all. Not too bad here. It is wavering a little bit, kind of circling. I'm going to come up here in the trees a little bit, see how it works. And kind of just see what it looks like here. So all right, so let's give this a little flight. No wind here. The trees are just a barely little wrinkle in the leaves, and see what it looks like. I was really hoping that it would have some electronic stabilization for a couple $100. So this isn't the low end, you know, $30 kind of a drone. So I was hoping it would have a little better than that. But overall, it is taking some video here. So we're just going to snap a couple of pictures quick. We're right now at 150-ish feet or so, and we're about 170 feet out. So I'm going to run it just a little bit more and see what our signal does here. I did hit the return to home, and it did actually come back here. It's above me, so I'm going to bring it down, not taking any more chances to have this go anywhere else. Alrighty, so that is enough for me. So let's talk about some of the good things with this drone. First, it comes in on $169 base price for the entire kit, which includes the drone, a rechargeable controller, 2 batteries, 2 battery chargers, a cable for charging the remote, spare props, and a really nice case. And you know me in cases, that is a really big deal when it's got a nice fitted case for it. And of course, I'll put the link in the description so you can find out where this is for $169. And Holy Stone was nice enough to give me an additional 10% discount, which I will also put in the description. So if you're interested in this, make sure you go and check that out, because of course that puts it around 150 bucks. So a well-featured drone like this for 150 bucks is not too bad. Another thing I really did like is it was pretty quiet. I was surprised when I took off that it actually was pretty quiet for the size. Sometimes they have a really nasty high pitch hum, and this was actually pretty good. It did a pretty nice job as far as being quiet. Also, of course, it does have GPS, and for me, that's a baseline I typically don't want to cross anymore. I've had too many drones that flew away because they didn't have GPS, they lost signal, and they just keep going. With GPS, it stops, turns around, and comes back to home if it loses signal, which is my next good point, which is indeed the return to home function did work well. Tried it a couple times, and each time it did come down. It wasn't perfect on spot, but it certainly was good enough to get it back to you without getting it lost. Next thing I liked is that the battery life did come in at just over 20 minutes. Now that's pretty darn good with a drone this size and for this price range, and it did come with 2 of them, so you can get 40 minutes worth of flight time. And that was with a little bit of wind that we had today. Not a lot, but just a little bit of wind, so that's pretty decent. And as I mentioned earlier, it does come in at 212 grams, quite light. Gets it underneath that pesky regulation in the US for registration, if that's something that's important to you. And of course, that always makes it nice as well, just because if you're lugging it around, it's a lot lighter to carry. Also, the pictures that came out of this were truly 4K, and they looked really clean and sharp, and the color was quite good. I was really surprised when I saw some of the foliage, how nice those pictures actually looked coming out of this drone. Lastly, also, the drone does come with an SD card on board for storing all your footage. That's something that's not that common as well in this level of drone. A lot of times it just transmits back to your phone, your receiver, and of course if you get a little static or distortion or something, it actually shows up in your picture. So this is really nice that it's stored on board to keep you a really decent clean picture, even if you lose connection a little bit while you're flying. So of course, some of the things that are a little drawback It is really light at 212 grams, of course, so the wind will push it around. So you're going to want to take it out when it's calmer. If you go out in a lot of wind, it's really going to push it around a lot. So of course, that's typical with any of these drones that are that light, but you keep in mind when you're flying it and you should be good with that. Now, of course, the video out of this is not stabilized. For that price range, you don't get a full gimbal or anything like that. So we did expect that it wasn't going to be a stabilized picture coming out of there. But again, it's not too bad. If you don't have a ton of wind, it's not bad if you're trying to see something. But it is one of the drawbacks of a drone without a gimbal. It will be a little shakier. Lastly, I did have a little struggle getting the GPS to connect when I was doing my second chance flight. But it is in the trees a little bit here, even though it's open to the sky. Perhaps there's the satellites that are a little bit below the tree line or something. So it's possible if you went in the open area like I did the first time, which it connect right away, no problem, multiple times, that was probably something that I should have done differently, is go into an open area to catch the GPS first. So other than that, this is a dandy little drone. It did fly pretty decent. It's a nice looking little drone. So of course you can decide if it's something that works for you or not. And with that being said, if you found anything of use at all in this video, even something very small, I would invite you to click that like button. And of course, subscribe if you're not already. That way you'll get future updates like this when I do new products, and you'll be able to see those right away when they come out. Of course, please share this video as well, because without you guys, this channel won't exist. So if you don't like or subscribe, you'll never see any content from this channel. So I really do appreciate that. And of course, from me to you, thank you for making it this far in the video. Really do appreciate it. And with that, really looking forward to my next review. Holy Stone has been very gracious in sending me this product, so I'm looking forward to more of those as well. And until next time and next video, good flying.